Welcome to the 14th episode of the Who, What, When, Where, and Why podcast. My name is Kathleen Johnson, and I'm the Marketing and Membership Director at the Y, and your host today. With me today is our Child Care Director, Jade Boffo. Today's Back to School episode is titled Kids, Our Favorite Subject. So if you have your listening ears on and you're ready to take some notes, now it's time to start. There will be a test at the end.
Oh boy.
Jade, you've been on our program before, so we're excited to have you back because we're getting ready for back to school. So how exciting already is that in your world?
Crazy, because I was just planning for summer camp and I blinked and it's already back to school time.
Yeah. So I want to talk about what we're offering this year at the Y, because some changes have been made since we started back in the spring. And so I want to talk to you today and just let you update everybody on what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our preschool program. We are only doing a morning class currently. We didn't have enough enrolled for our PM class, so it got canceled. But our AM class is also changed the hours a little bit. So it used to be Monday through Friday. Now it's Monday through Thursday from 8 to 11:30.
And why did we make some of those changes?
Just to go with kind of like the regulations, the Ohio State standards, and the expectations with our licensing, to follow their curriculum and to give the kids the best, most beneficial time in the classroom.
Right. So let's talk about licensed programs. So how do they differ from other programs that people might find out there? Yeah.
So we are a step up to quality licensed program, and a lot of preschools around here are as well, even in the public schools. The only difference is that we are a 1-star rating. Hopefully we're going to get, increase that rating soon, to at least a 3, but it's really just, who your employees are and what their, credentials are. So with a 3-star, they have to have at least associate degree. Most public schools, they have their bachelor's degree, obviously, because that's what's required by Ohio State. But a lot of them are very similar. We use the creative curriculum, which is pretty standard. And then we implement like a center-based program. So the kids walk in and, they do their greetings, and then there's like a mathematics center, there's a science center, there's arts, library, there's a calm down center, just different things like that.
Okay. So that kind of goes into that social and emotional learning as well.
Absolutely.
But talk a little bit more about the curriculum that you mentioned. What did you call it?
Creative curriculum, yes.
Creative curriculum.
Yes.
So are there a lot of different curriculums out there, and can you pick and choose, or do you, and how did you focus in on this one?
Yeah, there are a couple different ones out there, but the creative curriculum is kind of like what the Early Learning Development Standards of Ohio recommend. That's something that they see that is, very child-centered and oriented based on their needs of learning. So, it's not set up to, we're going to talk about in the fall, we're going to talk about pumpkins and apples every single year. It's going to be, talking about the child's interest.
Okay.
So it could be random. It could be like, little Johnny came in and decided that he loved chewing bubble gum. And so then the teacher focuses on different activities that include, bubble gum. Okay.
And in the past, a couple episodes back, we talked to a little preschooler came and they had those little fidget toys and stuff like that. Is a lot of that coming back this year as well?
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that's I learned over summer camp was poppets are a big thing now.
Oh, what's a poppet?
So, fidget spinners were a thing for a while, and those have been around for a long, long time. But poppets are they're literally just like a little flat silicone piece, any shape. I think they make any shape in it now. And then little buttons that you just push.
Oh.
Yeah. It's interesting. So that's the new fidget sensory toy out there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I try to remember back about fidget, what I used for that kind of stuff. And
I think I used a slinky.
A slinky?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Those are awesome.
Down the steps, yeah.
I do love the slinky. That is definitely a classic toy. I don't think that'll ever go away.
No.
But yeah, you just you think about those types of things. And I notice even in myself as an adult, we were talking to Pastor Jason when he was here a couple episodes ago, and he even talked about when he's in a meeting, they give him a ball or something to kind of play with. And so as adults, we still need that kind of thing. And a lot of times I do a lot of hand squeezing, a lot of rubbing of my hand, and I find that soothing to myself.
Yeah.
I was watching some type of television show the other day about tapping, that whole procedure of tapping. So there's all these different techniques that are out there now that kids are learning, adults are learning to really keep their self a little bit more focused and a little more calm on what they're doing. So we're excited to start a new school year. And what day does that actually start for us?
So our first day, we do the Dover New Philly schedule. So they start on Wednesday, the 25th.
Okay. For preschool?
Sorry. That was for after school.
That's for after school.
Yeah, that was for after school. Yeah. So preschool doesn't start until the day after Labor Day. So September 7th. Yes. So,
and will we phase in, or do they all come in at the same time?
They're all going to come at the same time this year. It's the first week at least, just to figure out, they're new. We do have like an orientation, meet the teacher night on September 3rd.
Okay, great.
For families.
Great. So we kind of led that direction. Yeah. So let's jump over to years later in our school kids to our after school program. Yeah. So let's talk about who we serve in that first and how they're getting to us, because that's probably the biggest question we get at the YMCA is about after school and do you pick up the kids? So let's talk about after school.
Yeah, so definitely. After school program for our Dover location is from 3 to 6. And we have a partnership with Dover City Schools, so we are fortunate. And except for Dover South, they transport from every single school.
Nice.
There. We serve kindergarten through 8th grade. So no high school, but we do go up to middle school, and they do transport their middle school kids to us.
Nice.
At the
So
Y.
Dover South, for those of you who don't know, is in our neighborhood.
Yeah. It's right in our backyard. Yeah. So we pick up
we go
from
and get them.
Yes. Yeah, we pick them up in the Y van. And then New Philly Schools, we pick up from, we're doing New Philly South this year, which isn't always on, the roster. And then New Philly West, East, and Central.
Nice.
And then we're also going to be doing TCC, if anybody's out there from that school.
Yeah. So both elementary and,
and Welty Middle School too.
Welty Middle School.
Yep.
So, because I know I've driven the van before over to TCC, Central Catholic High School, where they have, but we're also going to, the other ones would come in on the Dover school buses. Is that correct? From TCC Elementary?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So covering all of the schools in the New Philadelphia and Dover area, which is awesome. And so we applaud you for all the hard work trying to get that transportation all figured out. And that's what's happening a lot during the summer in Jade's world. Just ended. Let's talk, before I move on, I want to talk about what a snapshot looks like for our after school program. Like what happens once they get off the bus?
Yeah. So the kids will come in, they are served a meal, and then they have homework time. So we, the parents with the expectation with our program is they do get their homework done when they're with us.
Nice.
Because we do have staff that are trained, and knowledgeable in the education field. So they come in, they eat a meal, they do their homework, and then at the end of the day, there's usually about an hour left. So then we'll do some gross motor games or art activities.
Nice. I've even heard instruments.
Yes, yeah, that was my favorite. Last year, the kids asked, they were like, hey, we need to practice for a concert. And I was like, bring it in. I don't mind.
Right. Right. I remember I was heading out to my car and I was like, I feel like I hear a clarinet somewhere.
Yeah, and like the 3 of them that were doing it last year, they were all in the same ensemble, and so they all are practicing together, and like they all play different instruments, so you kind of got like a little sneak peek of their concert. Yeah,
it was really neat, and it was nice to see the variety of stuff that went on last year, and I'm excited that that's going to happen again this year. So for those of you who don't know, in our building, the very front room, the main multi-purpose room in the front, is where we house our after school program. And there are other things that the kids can be involved in that we can help get them to too. So I know that in the past years, if they were on swim team, we were making sure that they were heading to their swim team practice. If they were on the gymnastics team, maybe they were just meeting the parent after school and they were moving on to some other programs. Is that still going to happen again this year?
Yeah, absolutely. The parents just need to inform me or one of the teachers that are there, of like where they need to be during the Y. So then we can send them that way and make sure that they get there safely.
Perfect. So let's talk about, let's go back and look at a snapshot of preschool.
Yeah, preschool's so fun. It's a lot of, songs and games and independent play. So they do come in and they're greeted by the teachers. And we do ask them to wash their hands, and then they go to sit down for circle time. Circle time usually consists of like a good morning song, and then sometimes we'll go over the days of the week and colors, and then we transition into independent play. So that's where those centers come into place there. So then the kids can choose where they want to play during that free time. Mm-hmm. They will get a snack during preschool hours, and then we always have a 30-minute gross motor period. We're thankful that we have the Adventure Center for preschool, and so we do utilize that during our preschool hours. But if not, during the weather, if it's nice out, we do try to go outside as well.
Nice. And for those of you who have not been to the YMCA, you can go onto our website at tuscymca.org and take a virtual tour, and you'll see the Adventure Center within that virtual tour. It's a nice video. It's short, so it won't take a long time to go through it. But you'll be able to see that area as well as the preschool area on that video. So if you want to check those out, you can. And also the multipurpose space where we're having our after-school program. So can you think of, I know we talked about transportation being one of the main issues for parents, Yeah. Just knowing that they don't have to transport over and get their kids to the Y, that's so important. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's balancing this need for childcare mm-hmm. and our jobs and trying to balance that out financially. Yeah. And that can be hard. Mm-hmm. So talk to me about financial assistance, about scholarshiping, about other partnerships that we have that help parents with the financial need.
Yeah, we definitely support financial aid, within the Y itself. Sure. But also with our Step Up to Quality rating, we are qualified to get ODJFS assistance. So that is kind of on the parents' part.
And for those that don't know that acronym, tell them what that is.
Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. Yeah, you put me on. I was like, wait, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. That just rolls off her tongue.
It does, yes.
So easily in conversations, and I'm always like, I don't even know what she's talking about.
Yeah, so the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, they provide financial aid for families that need assistance with specifically like preschool or after school or summer camp, any of our programs that we offer. And usually if the parents are unsure of how to do that, I send them an email of kind of the written letter and the website that they would have to go on to create that. They have to create an account and then apply online, or they can call Tusk Job and Family Services and get more information that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then our own financial assistance program, for those of you who have not been familiar with that in the past, is just a pretty simple application. You come in, we just need to know monthly income for the household. And we have a scale that we can provide either program membership or both financial assistance to bring your kiddos to the Y and really just begin to expand your horizons at what we have to offer, because there's a lot to do. Yes. So we always say, just reach out,
yeah,
just
absolutely.
ask, and we are happy to help. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of organizations in our community that are happy to help. We are so fortunate about that. So if our listeners have any questions about your programs, how do they get a hold of you?
Email's the best way to reach me. I have it right on my phone, so I'm pretty quick to respond to email. I do have my phone when I'm in my office that you can leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or talk to me directly. Usually, like this past summer, I was in camp a lot. So parents would just kind of pull me out for like a few minutes and just talk to me face to face. So either way.
So let's go back to camp.
Yeah.
Do you have a memorable moment maybe that happened this summer or something that you guys did that you just will stick with you for a long time?
Yeah, something new that we did this year is we took our Dover kids to our Denison program.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's talk about that.
And that was just a great way that our junior campers got to go. And our junior campers are grades 6th through 8th. Mm-hmm. So they're a little bit older, a little bit more mature, and they, got to go and help serve meals to the kids in Denison and just play with them and just be a kid again,
Yeah.
So it was really nice to, see the big kids play with all the little kids and like have fun, and it was a smaller group. So like it wasn't any pressure or anything. They just got to play on the playground and be free.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's such an important part of the YMCA's method that we encourage kids to become leaders and that somebody is always looking up to you.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was just such a great connection, a great partnership in growing communities together, which is so important, especially in areas of school division and that kind of stuff where you want to teach school spirit, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And a little bit of rivalry is fun. But in Tuscarawas County, there's such a large area. And in a kid's world, that's huge. Tuscarawas County could be the United States for all they know, right?
Yeah.
So it's big. And to know that you have kids in your area that are, not that 20, what did it take us, like 15 minutes to get there
15,
or something?
Yeah.
It's not much to get from one site to the other. And they're just like them. They're kids that want to play and have a good time. And it's always great to broaden your friendships across the areas. Anything else that you can think of that happened maybe this summer that was a memorable moment?
Yeah, I was really fortunate. This was our first year that I've been here to go on field trips.
Oh, yes.
So that was a lot of fun. We went to we went to Akron Fossils Museum, the Akron Zoo.
I've never been to the Fossils Museum.
Oh, it was so fun. It's definitely I would say, like our middle school kids had fun, but our little kids absolutely loved it. They got to go in, they made fossils. They gave like some originals and some replicas of like different fossils that they've collected over the years.
Right.
Because they are like a museum and by donation. And then they did like a little PowerPoint, just some information about prehistoric era and, you know, what fossils are. So, and then that's pretty much what we did when we were there. But then they have a whole outdoor playground as well that we only got like a small time to go on there, but they have like everything that you can imagine in their playground. It was really nice. It almost looks like we almost passed it driving the bus there though, because it's like, out in the middle of nowhere and then like just almost like a gas station size. But then it's like, Doctor Who, it's like the TARDIS bigger on the inside,
That's awesome. So I know that throughout the summer you had themes every week and all that kind of stuff. Does that kind of stuff spill into preschool and into after school programming, or do you kind of go more with school themes?
Do a little bit of both. I definitely think for preschool, I think themes are always really fun. They're more, I would say they're called units of study.
Okay.
Now, so they, like I said, it's the child's interest, child's focus. So if like, they were interested in talking about pumpkins and apples and everything for fall time,
right.
Then that would be the unit of study that they would do. Kind of the same thing with after school. After school, we kind of go off of what the teachers provide for their homework. So we give them that homework assistance, but then they do make it fun and they'll have like little parties, in the after school room.
So just a little bit of history for our listeners. The child care programs were pioneered in the 1850s in YMCAs. And in 1867 is when the first like camping experience became part of the YMCA programming. And so in front of me is just a history of the YMCA timeline, that kind of stuff. And I love to kind of go back to this and really it's amazing to me how long the YMCAs have been in existence and what are some of the things that they really pioneered and were really just a big push into getting programming for children and for adults.
And things we still do today.
And things we still do today. Crazy. One of the pictures that I love in here, this kid has a T-shirt on, and it's a logo that I haven't seen for a while for the YMCA, but it's our core values logo, caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. And you used to see these throughout Wise on T-shirts, imprinted in their buildings, and we don't see this one very often anymore, but those 4 words hang in our gym. And so tell me about core values and how you intermix that into the programs in childcare.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's important. That's kind of like our ground rules that we set, that the kids know when they come in. You know, we have expectations, and those are part of our expectations. So in it, incorporating good sportsmanship, with those rules. We play lots of games in preschool, after school, summer camp, and just making sure that the kids understand, we're all here to have a good time, have fun.
Yeah. What's some of the most popular games?
Scatterball.
Scatterball. Those of you who have been part of the YMCA know that Scatterball.
Scatterball. They play this one game. It's called Ship Shore. And it's basically where, there's a person that's in charge, and then they go from one side or the other based on what you say, ship or shore. So they like doing that one. During Water Week, we had water balloons. That's always fun. Trying to think what else. Anything with balls, like dodgeballs, kickball. I
know for my kids who all went through the child care programs at the Y, not preschool because we weren't, I did some preschooling type things at home, but the camp definitely, Scatterball was like their ultimate favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Hospital tag's a big one. So every time you get tagged, if you got tagged on your hand, then your hand's out, and you're eventually squished and can't move because you have one leg that's alive. It's fun.
So you guys had a special visitor, and so tell us about that visit. How did that go, and who that visitor was?
Yeah, Hunter Armstrong. He has been in camp for numerous years, from what I understand, doing magic tricks.
Okay.
So he came in, and it was just extra special, being that he just went into the Olympics. So the kids thought he was like a superstar anyway.
Yeah.
But he came in, and he was so good with the kids, and he showed them some magic tricks. And then some other of our friends, they decided to try to trick him. And do a magic trick, and you can see that on the Y video that Gary made. He posted it on our website, I believe.
Yeah. There's a little video of that 40 minutes. It's not 40 minutes long. It's just a little video of the session that they were with him.
But and they just had a good time. It was nice, that in the small town community, they got to meet a superstar. So and he, talked to them about, it all starts at the Y.
Yeah.
For him, it helped. He did swim lessons there, and it can be anybody.
Right.
So
when I left that day, they were chasing him around the soccer field.
Yeah.
It's just they're just running and running after him. And I heard that they played scatterball with him, and somebody hit him in the head with, might have been our CEO's daughter, might have hit him with a ball. Yes, so, but he's just such a great role model for the kids, and so we were excited to be able to host him at the after school program, and then later, also on our Facebook page, you can not only see his a little bit of his snapshot of him visiting with our childcare program, but also our Facebook Live interview with him, his mom, his dad, his coach, his brother was there with our CEO, Tiffany Fox. So we'll hope that you'll go to our Facebook page and take a look at that. So Jade, we've got a couple of special events we want to talk about, and something that you have been working with and are on the committee for. This is going to happen in September. It's a free concert on the lawn. It's our community kickoff for Welcome Week, which is September 10th through the 19th, which I know we just talked about school, and that's not a week. That's longer than a week, and we get that, but that's why USA, we didn't.
And it's coming up soon.
And it is coming up really soon. But September 12th from 2 to 7, you'll be able to come out to the YMCA and enjoy a free concert from some local worship groups. But during the week, Jade is great on camera. If you've seen her other interviews, you'll know that she's part of Little Theater. She was just in the Little Mermaid. Yeah. And so we're excited that she loves to be on camera. So tell us a little bit about some of the things you've been videotaping this week to come and be presented on our Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been doing like tours of the tiendas. So we did 2 specifically. Tienda La Fe, which is right across from, I always say Hoodletown because I think everybody knows where that is.
Or Church at the Harvest is, Burning River Church, which that is changing names.
Yep.
So, or the Old Buellers, depending on how long you have lived in this county, the Old Buellers. Yep.
So Tienda La Fe, they specialize in like desserts. They're like a little local bakery. They also serve lunches. And then SPT Convenient Market, which is right across from the Dover Philly Credit Union, going towards West High. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like a little drug mart, and then they sell women's clothing there. So that was really interesting to learn about.
Yeah, and we chose to do this because Welcoming Week is really to bring all of our uniqueness of our county and just highlight it. And so some of the things we thought about were there's a lot of little different tienda stores kind of popping up.
Oh, yeah.
And I myself have never been in one. And so I thought maybe that would be kind of cool. So we started thinking about how do we do this? And nicely enough, both of the owners of those stores are members of the YMCA. And I'm having a conversation with the one that comes in on my night duty. I see him and his wife come in, and we're just out there having a conversation. And he specifically just said, there's another member that owns another one. Mm-hmm. And within 5 minutes, he walked in. And then it was another conversation that got started. Yeah. And so it just warms my heart to remember, and it really refocuses it for me that the Y is just a community. Like Definitely. We are, and so Welcoming Week really does emphasize that there's all kinds of different people, all different religions, all different nationalities, genders, and we all come to this one unique place to better our life, both spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so that's exciting for me to be part of that type of company for the last 21 years. But Jade, you've just come to us, so you are newer to that, but she's fallen right into place. Like, I know that your commitment and your joy to this is what makes our program strong. So we're excited that you're with us and excited to see where this all takes us from this point. So in that, with the free concert on the lawn, just remember that bring blankets and chairs. I'm going to go over the list real quick for you of who's going to be there. Burning River Church, again, is in Dover, close to the Tienda. And Park Christian Church, which are our friends down in Denison, who help us with the after-school program down there and have partnered with us for the last couple years. Dover First United Methodist Church, which is the large church on Worcester in Dover. Living Connection Church, which is in New Philadelphia. They are going to provide a kind of a special part of this, which part of their group will actually sing their worship songs in Spanish. Nice. So we're so excited. And it's beautiful. If you ever go to their website, there's a little YouTube video of their church. And there's their lead singer, and just beautiful. And then the Church at Carter's Orchard, which is located right now at the YMCA, but is renovating their building in Dover. And if you would like to know more about them, look at a past what do we call these? Past podcast. Yes. A past podcast of Pastor Jason when we talked about isolation, social isolation, and kind of coming back out into the world. And so we're excited for Welcome Week to start. I want to wish you great success on your school year. I know all teachers get a little nervous. Are you a little nervous going?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's a little nervous, especially, with everything going on. You never know what to expect sometimes.
You don't.
Yep. So just going in with a positive mindset and we're going to have a good year.
Yes. And kids say the strangest things, right? I mean, I think there's a whole, wasn't there a whole series of somebody who used
a TV show? Yeah. Kids say the darnest things or something. Yes.
Yeah. So always a good story out there but we're excited to see the kids on their first day of school. I know our front desk staff is always kind of involved with all the kids, kind of making sure they dressed up for almost all your theme weeks throughout the summer, which was funny. I mean, I would come in and I'd be like, why does she have a dinosaur dress on?
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
it's dinosaur week.
It's dinosaur week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, my dress code at the front desk has gone out the window. I have no idea what's happening here. But yeah, they were right involved in theme weeks. And so I'm sure that they will happily help you with promoting some other team spirit and theme weeks throughout some other things that are going on at the Y, Jack Marsh golf outing coming up as well. And also, of course, the turkey trot, which will be in November. So you'll be hearing more about that on our social media pages and throughout our website. Do you have any closing comments, Ms. Boffo?
No, I don't think so. I'm just excited for the school year, and good luck to all the teachers out there, because you just, it's going to be another wild year, I think.
Yeah.
Just like any year. Lots of memories.
Well, I'm proud to say this is the 14th episode of the Who, What, When, Where, and Why podcast, and it has come to an end. If you have a story to share with us, please email me, Kathleen at tuscymca.org, and we can't wait to hear from you about anything that you would like to see later on our podcast. Take a moment to check out our website, again, tuscymca.org, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And you can even catch more episodes of our podcast on YouTube. The Y is a nonprofit organization focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Financial assistance is always available. Please stop in and talk to us about that. From all of us at the Who, What, When, Where, and Why podcast, have a great day, and thanks for listening.